Hey everyone, Robert Ferringo of Doc Sports back with the number 12 team in my NFL Power Rankings countdown, the Cleveland Browns. So, before we get into Cleveland's prospects for the 2023 season, let's take a little trip down memory lane. Let's take a moment and really appreciate the level of absurdity and drama that has surrounded this just pathetic organization over the last 6 years. It's been a hell of a ride, frankly. Okay, starting in 2017, they went winless. They were 0-16 in 2017. One of the few teams in NFL history to fail to win a game. Hilarious, right? Then in 2018, they went into the year with 2 top 5 draft picks. Okay, you don't see that often, but that was the chance. Going 0-16, now they were going to completely rebuild the franchise. Oh, wait, they used one of them on Baker Mayfield. And this was just a few short years after wasting a first-round pick on Johnny Manziel. All right, so again, just the Browns being the Browns. However, by some, who knows why, some fluke in the psychology of NFL bettors, going into 2019, the Browns were everybody's sleeper pick. They were the trendy team going into 2019. You remember that? Freddie Kitchens comes in at the end of 2018. They played well the end of that 2018 year. You know, they go with Baker Mayfield, who people still had high hopes for. Going into 2019, I swear to God, I remember this. People were still picking the Browns as a sleeper Super Bowl pick. Shock of shocks, it didn't happen for them. 2020 was actually the COVID year, which was just a mess for everyone. Surprisingly, that was or maybe not surprisingly, given the chaos of 2020 just in general, that was the best season that Cleveland's had in forever. They went 11-5, finally played up to some of the potential and capability that they had showed, showing people why they liked them in 2018 and 2019. But yeah, it makes sense that they would have their best season during the during the COVID year, right? So sure enough, 2021, everything comes back and everybody's back on that bandwagon, predicting big things, AFC North championships and Super Bowl appearances, and the Browns are back. Naturally, they had a losing season, and they went 8-9. And then heading into last season, as if they just needed more drama, there was the Deshaun Watson saga, where they signed this guy to the biggest guaranteed contract in NFL history, one of the all-time scumbags in NFL history. They brought him in to be their new franchise quarterback. Shock of shocks, it didn't go very well. And the guy who hadn't played football in 2 years turned out to be pretty terrible the second half of last season. So that's it. That's 2017, they go winless. 2018, they blow the Baker Mayfield pick and have 2 top 5 picks. 2019, they were a colossal failure despite the preseason hype. 2020, bizarre year. They win 11 games and finally do something. 2021, the wheels of the bandwagon came off again. 2022, Deshaun Watson, everybody. That's it. That's been the Cleveland Browns. So where do we go from here? All right. I have number 12 in my power ranking. So I obviously am a little higher on this Browns team than a lot of people are. All right. I still don't love betting on Deshaun Watson. Anybody that reads has read my Ferringo report or my power rankings when he was in Houston, even before all of the alleged sexual assault stuff came out, I was talking about Deshaun Watson as a guy that holds on to the ball too much, takes too many hits, misses too many throws, and maybe this guy's a little overrated. Maybe he's got a little Matt Stafford in him, where he's just putting up big numbers on bad teams, and part of the reason they're bad is his poor play early in games. So I don't love betting on Deshaun Watson because of the karmic implications of trying to make money on such a scumbag. But look, this is the NFL. Morality went out the window a long time ago. The least you can do is make money on it, right? But I still don't like betting on Watson for the karmic implications. I still don't like betting on Watson because I still don't know who this guy is. Is he ever going to get it back after those 2 years off? Was he overrated to begin with? Put up great fantasy stats. Was he a good real quarterback? I don't know. Kevin Stefanski's offense has moved the ball, put up some solid numbers with subpar, substandard quarterback play in the past. So if Watson can just get back to the point that he's good, that offensive line should take over the rest. They remind me a little bit, if you watch the video I did about the Detroit Lions. It's really all about the offensive line. Okay? Cleveland has 4 Pro Bowl caliber players along the offensive line. That is the foundation of everything that they do on that side of the ball. All right, the receivers aren't that great. They're not bad. Mari Cooper, okay. Donovan Peoples-Jones, he can do some things. If Elijah Moore clicks after getting tossed to the side by the Jets, that's a perfectly mediocre set of 3 wide receivers for Watson to work with. But if the offensive line is moving people and creating another season of top 5 rushing offense, then Cleveland's going to be just fine. Now, here's a problem. Here's a prediction. Mark this one down on August 7th when I'm making this video. Nick Chubb's going to get hurt this year. He's their stud running back. They got rid of Kareem Hunt. No longer a 1-2 punch. Nick Chubb's going to get hurt. He had 329 touches last year. He was voted the number 1 running back in the NFL by ESPN's poll. He's averaged 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns a year for 5 years. So he's taken a lot of hits and a lot of carries over the last 5 seasons that he's been in the league. And that was with Kareem Hunt to help shoulder the load. Chubb's going to get hurt. When he does, are they going to be as effective running the ball? Are they going to stay as committed to running the ball? Or are they going to decide to put the ball in Watson's hands and make him earn his money? I don't know. Neither one of those two scenarios is too welcome if you're a Browns fan. But I do feel like with that offensive line, Watson being better, average play from the wide receiver, I think they'll find a running back. They still have Nick Chubb. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am, but maybe I'm wrong, and maybe he'll just punch out another 1,200-yard season. But I think they're going to be fine on that side of the ball. I got to tell you, one of the reasons that I'm kind of bullish on Cleveland this year, and it's all relative, right? I still have them, if you're tracking this, I still have them ranked as the 4th team in the 4-team AFC North. AFC North is, I think, by far the best division in football. Somebody's got to finish in last place. The last place team I have ranked number 12 in the entire NFL. So expectations are relative, right? But the reason I'm a little bit bullish and that I have some expectations for the Browns this year is the change they made on the defensive side of the ball. They had a big drop last year, okay? Cost Joe Woods his job. They dropped from number 5 in total defense in 2021 to just number 14 last year. Not terrible, but not good. But they also regressed in points allowed. They finished 20th or worse for the 7th time in 8 years. All right? They were number 13 in points allowed in 2021. Number 5 in total defense, number 13 in scoring defense. Both those numbers step back. Joe Woods gone. Jim Schwartz in. Think what you want about Jim Schwartz. There's a lot of people that think that he's, I don't know, pick your expletive. Pick your 4-letter word that you want to use to describe him. I like Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz gets it done. He has gotten it done on a lot of defenses in a lot of places. You know what you're going to get from Jim Schwartz. This Cleveland defense is going to be a lot more aggressive. They're going to blitz a lot more. They're going to put more pressure on opposing offenses. They're going to be much more in attack mode. And for a team that only forced 11 takeaways last year on the defensive side of the ball, that's exactly what the Browns need. I think they're going to be much better on the defensive side of the ball. And that should make them a much better team. Now, is it going to be enough to cover that 9.5 season win total? I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because, again, I just like the other teams in their division better. I got to tell you, though, if Cleveland won the North, I don't think it would stun me. It wouldn't be a stunner. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, they're not that much better than Cleveland. Cleveland's got all pros all over the place. Offensive and defensive line, put them up against just about anybody in the NFL. Cleveland can play. But I just don't like them as much as I like some of the other teams. And if I'm going to be wrong, I felt like this number should have been 8.5. Even at 8.5, I wouldn't have loved it, but that's where it should have been. So if you are going to play this one, I got to play it under. They have some signs pointing upward. So I think the value with this team is they're going to be better at the window. They're going to be better against the spread than maybe their overall season wins end up as. All right, Cleveland has gone 25, 40, and 1 against the spread since the start of the 2019 season. This makes them kind of the opposite of the Lions, right? The Lions 23 and 11 against the spread the last 2 years. They're now getting overvalued. Those numbers are going to start to shift the other way. Everybody's forgetting about Cleveland. They've been burned by Cleveland 2 of the last 4 years when they were supposed to be something and they weren't. And they're the Browns, and they're just losers. And they've had a losing record 14 out of the last 15 years. People are just casting them off and tossing them aside. This is still a pretty good team. This team is going to beat some people. This team is going to win some games. This team has talent up and down both sides of the field. So I like Cleveland a little bit more than some other people are. That said, I don't like them enough to bet over because I don't see them winning 10 games this year. Maybe they will. Maybe this will be the division that 3 teams make the playoffs out of, like we saw with the NFC East last year. I don't know. 9.5 is a tough ask. I would play this one under, but I am still buying the Browns, if that makes sense. So that's it for today. We are just a couple teams out from the top 10, so be sure to check back tomorrow for the next team in my NFL Power Rankings. Until then, carpe diem and good luck.